Harry's case collapses and it could cost him millions. Here I am in central London at the Royal Courts of Justice, and the Duke of Sussex's bitter war on the UK press has suffered an extraordinary setback, with a key witness that Harry was going to use in his legal action against the Daily Mail newspaper revealed that his confession was a forgery. Now, this is a key witness that has gone up in smoke. Harry is in big trouble. This is a catastrophe, because what it means is that the Prince's legal action could suffer the same disastrous fate as his previous case against the Mail on Sunday, which he had to drop in January of last year at a personal cost of $1.5 million. Now, Harry, who is, I've got to say, a very naive young man and picks these battles with the press, which always seem to go badly, he was left with his own legal fees and those of the Daily Mail, which cost him $1.5 million. That is a drop in the ocean compared to what this forthcoming trial could cost him going forward. So here we go again, a serial loser who, in my view, detests free speech and who loathes the accountability of a free press. And once again, Harry bites off more than he can chew in the courtroom. By the way, another big story today. Fresh developments in the Kim Kardashian, Meghan Markle poppy row, but I'll come to that shortly. It really has been a terrible week for the Sussexes. So Prince Harry's war with the press just hit the iceberg. The star witness at the centre of his lawsuit against the Daily Mail now says that his entire confession was forged. And so Harry's case collapses like a house of cards. So completely false, total fantasy and a forgery is the direct quote from this star witness, who has now evaporated alongside Harry's chances of winning this expensive case. So it's a big, big problem and a major win potentially for the Daily Mail. And I've got to say that I always back up the free press. So we have here in central London the finest press in the history of the world. There's a street down the road called Fleet Street, and that is originally where all the journalists had their offices, where they got their stories, where they drank their beer to get the scoop. And indeed, back in the day, where the newspapers were actually printed. It all happened on Fleet Street, which is just seconds from where I'm standing in front of the Royal Courts of Justice. And therefore I treasure our free speech and our free media. But Harry has a problem with newspapers like the Mail and the Sun. And the reason why is because he does not like accountability. Because it was the excellent Sun newspaper who revealed the details of the Clarence House summit. And it was the Mail that have continued to hold the Sussexes to account, which is absolutely right. Because let me tell you that princes and princesses and wealthy American actresses are not a protected class. In fact, quite the opposite. They are the elite. They have privilege and power. And therefore you need the Daily Mail and the Telegraph and the Sun and the New York Post and every single newspaper in the world to report the truth. The Mark Dolan show as well about this couple. So here's the story in detail. Harry and a group of celebrity claimants, including Liz Hurley from the Austin Powers movie. Do you know that lady? She's age-defying. She's approaching 60. She might be 60 now. She looks absolutely stunning. And a small matter of Elton John as well. So this is a group legal action. Elton John and Liz Hurley and others. They are suing the publisher of the Daily Mail for alleged phone hacking and illegal snooping. Now, the case was built around a 2021 witness statement from a private investigator called Gavin Burrows, apparently admitting to years of dirty tricks, right? That was the basis of the case. This guy, Gavin Burrows, the big man himself, the B-bomb, the Burrowmeister, the guy that likes to dig himself into a hole, well, he has basically torn up this amazing piece of evidence. So he allegedly admitted to years of dirty tricks on behalf of the Daily Mail, and it sounded like dynamite until now. Now, Burrows has just filed a brand new statement, which is devastating. And he's filed this statement with independent lawyers saying that the first so-called confession was forged. Yikes! No! Harry's got caught up in a forgery scandal where his main plank of evidence is allegedly totally fake. Not unlike his actress wife, Meghan Markle. My husband! shouldn't be so loud. I might actually wind up in the Royal Courts of Justice myself, and then I'll have to do these videos from a jail cell. Can you imagine that? Incarcerated Dolan. Listen, if I wind up in jail for telling the truth, will you guys send me cake and stuff like that? You promise? I'll make sure that you get the address later, in case I get incarcerated by the cops for speaking truth to power. I'd like you to send me cake. I'd like some novelty mugs, please. I would also like maybe some good books, because I might be, it might be 2 decades of hard labour. Right, so we need to get on with this. It's massive, and the Meghan Kardashian story has taken a huge development. You won't believe it. I can't wait to tell you all about it. So, this guy, Burrows, Gavin Burrows, who likes to dig a hole for himself, right? He is Harry's star witness, who's now completely exited the case. Wait a minute, we've got the cops here. I better let them zoom past, because London is turned into a lawless nightmare. Perhaps they're coming for me. So, right, we've got to deal with this because it's massive. So. Let's get on with it. Gavin Burrows. He says that this statement, which was the basis of Harry's legal action and Liz Hurley and Elton John, and I can't explain. And he says it was prepared by others without his knowledge, and that he doesn't even recognise the signature. Now, according to the Telegraph and The Guardian, he calls the whole thing, right, this guy Gavin Burrows, said the whole thing's a fantasy. It's a fake, it's not real, it is fake news. And the Times report that this guy is directly names, the Times reports that he's directly naming names, claiming that he was hounded by a former journalist and convicted phone hacker Graham Johnson and a paralegal called Dan Waddell, who offered him cash and a promised £5,000 a month, that's about $7,000 retainer. Listen, it's complicated, right? C'est très compliqué. Je ne comprends pas très bien, mais je comprends que Harry il avoir peu d'argent tout de suite. Auf die Treppe schnell! Right. Burrows says that these men allegedly told him that newspapers usually settled out of court, describing the whole thing as a perfect scam and a gravy train. Well, Prince Harry would all know about gravy trains, would he not? He insists that he repeatedly told them that he'd never done illegal work for the Mail, saying, quote, I told them 100 times the Mail were never my clients. This is a guy that Harry thinks worked for the Daily Mail and was the basis of his case in that building, which has gone up in smoke. I mean, and wait till you hear about the financial implications. Yikes. So he said, I told them 100 times, the Mail were never my clients. If that's true, the entire basis of Harry's case is, wait for it, and I quote, hanging by a thread. Hanging by a thread. Love hurts so much. Love heals the scars. I don't love you is like a nail being hammered through your heart. Right. Harry's lawyers say they won't call Burrows as a witness at all, and they're going to rely on hearsay evidence instead, which is feeble. It is feeble. I don't think they're going to win. I think Harry, guys, and I say this with no pleasure, I think he's going to lose yet another court case. And it's going to be bad headlines and wildly humiliating. Harry's lawyers are going to use hearsay evidence instead. In other words, he said, she said, which is not exactly copper-bottomed evidence, is it? That is literally, that is like, I don't know, going into a football game and not having your star player, basically. The Mail's team, and by the way, they've got some good lawyers, right? There are no flies on the Daily Mail, which is an elite media organisation. They know what they're doing. They've got a great legal team. They don't mess around. They are demanding to cross-examine this guy, Harry, which could make for a totally amazing courtroom showdown. And you know Harry will struggle. He'll be, I don't know. I can't remember. It might have been 5 o'clock. I forgot. I didn't have porridge at that time. Anyway, it was my nap time, actually. Was that before I met Meghan? I mean, the most hopeless witness ever. So what's going to come, and seriously, I'm so excited about this, bring popcorn. We're going to have a 9-week trial, okay? This is 9 weeks. It's over 2 months of court scrutiny with Harry having no star witness. with old Gavin Burrows, right? The B-bomb, the man that likes to dig his own holes, and now he's dug a hole for Harry. It's a 9-week trial, and Harry has not got the key bit of evidence, the key witness. And the whole trial, just the cost of the trial for everyone, the Mail and Harry, Liz Hurley, a couple of others, and Sir Elton John, $55 million is the cost of the trial. And that's before reputations, headlines, and egos are priced in. The damage to Harry's brand will be colossal. He's going to lose more money, and it's our understanding on the Mark Dolan show that Meghan was furious about the Mail on Sunday court thing, which went horribly wrong. Harry, who is not brain of Britain, convinced Meghan he was going to beat and win against the Mail on Sunday, and he didn't. And it's cost him $1.5 million. That was in January of last year, where he had to admit defeat, and it looks like he's going to admit defeat again. But $1.5 million from that case last year, January 2024, 2 years ago, that's a lot of money, $1.5 million. Before tax, that's the best part of $3 million. It's money Harry hasn't got. Harry has barely made a dime since Spare, because that was his meal ticket. Selling his family down the river and abusing the royals, that was basically his gig, and that gig has run dry. So it's our understanding that Meghan was furious about that Mail on Sunday story, because Meghan is conscious that they need the money. They've brought some money in with the various projects, but the As Ever brand is dead in the water. The Netflix deal is not a deal. It's a first look agreement for the commissioning of programs that they're going to say no to. So it's not looking good. It is not looking good. So if Prince Harry's case against the Daily Mail collapses, the financial hit will be enormous, right? Legal filings show that the 9-week High Court battle is budgeted, like I said, around $55 million in total. If Harry's side loses, and of course that's a very high likelihood now that he's lost his key witness, he could be on the hook for his own fees plus a share of the Mail's. Experts estimate his personal exposure, wait for this guys, and I say it with no pleasure at all, could reach between $5 and $6 million. $5 and $6 million, and potentially double that if the court orders him to pay part of the defendant's costs, which would be the Daily Mail's costs, which is what happened in January of 2024. And how dare he sue the Daily Mail, which is a great brand. Did you know it's the most... Did you know I'm not Meghan Markle? Did you know that the Daily Mail newspaper is the most read English newspaper in the world? That's right. The most read English language newspaper in the world. A lot of people buy the actual physical paper, but of course, millions of people around the world go to the Mail Online, which is the online version of the Daily Mail newspaper. They are huge. They are massive. And you've got the Sun that I mentioned, who are an amazing, amazing journalistic outfit, as are the Times. All of our papers, left-leaning, right-leaning, I like all of them. I think we've got a great, great media scene here. And what does Harry want to do? He wants to sue them. The only paper he never sues is The Guardian. And the reason why is because The Guardian is crazy woke and is totally on Harry's side. Right? The Guardian is the in-house newsletter of Harry and Meghan. And it makes me quite nauseous reading the slavishly positive articles about Harry and Meghan in The Guardian, although hilariously, even they hated With Love Meghan, which they said was unwatchable, and they gave it 1 star. So, you know, that's very beautiful. I'll tell you the other big problem, right? He hasn't just lost his court case against the Mail. Let me just make sure that we're still running, because this is, let me tell you, a live situation as we speak. Right, I'm so excited to tell you about the developments in the Meghan Kardashian poppy route. You won't believe it. I don't believe it. Right. Harry keeps losing court cases. Previously, we of course had the Home Office fight, where what he's done is he's sued the British government for royal security, even though he's not a member of the royal family, not a serving royal. And he lost that. And he's going to lose this too. So that would be a hat trick. That would be 3 things that he's lost back to back. And it's going to cost him millions. I mean, when you calculate all of it together, worst case scenario, this guy is going to be minus 12, 13, 14, 15 million dollars. That's not money he's got. That could be half of his entire fortune. And the way that tax works, if you're wealthy, you tend to keep, with agent fees, managers, public relations, staffing, all that, whatever the couple make, you can cut that in half. They're going to get 40, 50% of whatever they make. So, for example, the book Spare, he got $20 million for that. And he keeps 6, 7, 8 million of that after tax and expenses. And the ghostwriter, because Harry didn't write Spare, because he doesn't do sentences, he probably sketched out some ideas with a crayon.
I can't really write, but what I'll do is I'll do some pictures, pretty pictures, with my pens, if that's all right, felt tip pens, pretty pictures, and then maybe you can extrapolate a book out of that. Thanks. Humpy dumpy dumpy dump. Poor Prince Harry, world's least happy millionaire, always suing people, always taking them to court, and always losing. Humpy dumpy dumpy dump, like Gavin Burrows, my star witness, who said that all the evidence is a forgery, and it's all gone in smoke, up in smoke.
The other person that's not going to be happy is King Charles, who hates the fact that his son is suing newspapers because he's the king. And the point about the monarchy is they stay out of politics and they don't sue the press. And the reason why they don't sue the press is because without the press, there is no royal family. Without the press, there is no royal family. By the way, forgive the slightly casual outfit today, but I was out and about, this story broke, and I had to basically just run over here and get these truth bombs over to you. So we'll be back, most likely back in the studio tomorrow, all suited and booted, let me tell you, and I'll floss and everything. King Charles won't be happy because the point about the royals is they've got to stay out of politics and stay out of, an argument with the media. Without the media, there is no royal family. What I mean by that is that it's the press who take their photographs and write about them and talk about them, who keep them relevant, who keep them in the spotlight. Because if they were invisible and none of us covered what they were up to, well, then they would have no purpose and they would be gone. So they need the press. The relationship with the press between the royals and the newspapers, radio stations, TV networks, the Mark Dolan show is umbilical and it is critical. And I will tell you that I'm humbly to say, but I think I'm very, very good for the royal family because I'm so firmly in Team Wales, who are the incumbents. It's Charles, it's Catherine, it's William. These are all rock stars to me. And the damage from Harry is just incalculable. And here we go again. And now you're guaranteed more bad headlines for January 2026, January of next year. Bring popcorn because Harry's going to court and he'll be walking into the Royal Courts of Justice, looking really a bit depressed and a bit chubby as well because he's so super fat now. He's such a porker. He's such a chunky Charlie, isn't he? Because why? He's not happy. And we've all done it. We've all been there. He's comfort eating. And he's mainlining those Baconators from Wendy's. He loves the Wendy burger. And it's affecting him. And I don't know. Is he back on the weed? I hope not. But if he is, well, that's famously people, I know it was a fact. Harry was baked for a decade, let me tell you. It's in his book Spare, all these years of... Anyhow, but that was why his metabolism is so bad and also his brain. So, Charles won't be happy. And the other person that's not going to be happy is William. Because William is trying to prepare for his own reign. Now, we can all hope and pray that his reign will not start for many years because we love Charles, okay? But he's an older man, he's battling cancer. What's Charles now, 76? And I would say to you, I don't know what you think, but I think Charles, and I love the man, he's a very dear man. He's got no backbone, he's far too weak with Harry, but he's a sweet man. I think he's an old 76, I actually do, and I say that with no pleasure whatsoever. But anyway, so William's trying to get ready to be king, and his idiot brother is permanently suing British newspapers. It is so bad, and it reminds everybody just how vindictive Harry is and why it was a big mistake by Charles to do the Clarence House summit, because you will never appease Harry, especially when he's not under the influence of Meghan Markle. So here we are. What it basically means is Harry's entire campaign against the press now looks wobbly. He's positioned himself as the crusader who'd finally expose Fleet Street corruption. But if your main witness says his own confession was a forgery, it's over. It's over. It's over. The Mail can now argue that the whole thing was built on sand, maybe even a politically motivated hit job against a newspaper that Harry famously loathes. And remember, there's no jury here. It's a High Court judge who looks coldly at the evidence. And right now the evidence is collapsing faster than Harry and Meghan's marriage, which Mark Dolan has placed on 24/7 Divorce Watch. Of course, Harry says it's all about truth and accountability. Well, that's his narrative, isn't it? That's how he manipulates and weaponizes language. But with your star witness crying forgery, your lawyers backpedaling, and your credibility on the line, you've got to wonder, maybe the only thing being hacked here is Harry's case itself. It will put more pressure on the marriage, by the way. If Harry loses and he's got to go back to Meghan and go, I'm really sorry, Meghan, I've actually lost another $12 million, whoopsie daisy. She won't be happy. And, I mean, when did Harry last have a good week? Falling out with his charities, the poppy row with Meghan, and this is what I want to get to now, a massive development with Meghan Markle, Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian. So what happened is that Meghan and Harry appeared this weekend at Kris Jenner, who's the matriarch of the Kardashian family, her 70th birthday, at the $165 million mansion, Beverly Hills mansion of Jeff Bezos, the man who founded Amazon. And what happened is that Harry and Meghan appeared. They were treated as VIP guests, featuring prominently in Instagram posts shared by Kim Kardashian, until mysteriously they vanished. As we reported on yesterday's show, Kim's been on her phone deleting, delete. Now, what is quite extraordinary is that it was our understanding that Kim Kardashian took the view this couple are toxic and we don't want to be involved with them. Well, there may be more to this than meets the eye. Because according to the gossip site de moi, bonjour, comment ça va? Je vais nager avec les pommes de terre aux piscines. Oui. Pourquoi pas? Parce que je me suis trompé et je vais dormir maintenant, à tout à l'heure, à demain. Oh, die Treppe schnell! According to gossip site De Moi, some insiders believe the sudden deletions may have been linked to Meghan's decision not to wear a red remembrance poppy, a small but highly symbolic gesture in the UK during November. Columnist Rob Shooter, who, let me tell you, shoots from the hip via his Shooter Scoop reports, he actually has a very different story. That Harry and Meghan demanded the photos be removed, furious that they've been uploaded without their approval. The quote is, they were polite but firm. Nothing goes online without their sign-off. The source told this guy they've built their brand on control and they weren't about to let a Kardashian post derail that. Well, listen, it's quite clear, right? Kris Jenner is a very powerful lady, very rich lady as well. She doesn't take kindly to being told what to do, least of all from this pair of upstarts from Montecito. They were lucky to get an invitation to the party in the first place. And the quote here regarding what the Kardashians think, right, is Kris said if Meghan and Harry want control, they can have it, just not on her guest list. But what we're seeing here is another example of Meghan's lust for control. Don't forget, she did it to her lovely makeup artist, Daniel, who apparently is a close friend, even though he's on the payroll. How can your best friends be on the payroll? That's not a friendship if you pay them. That is not a friendship. That is a colleague who you have a good relationship with. It's not a friendship, is it? In fact, quite often when I stop work, I've got colleagues, when I stop working with them, I'm so excited because we don't work together now. So next time I call you, it's because we're friends. It's a lovely moment. This guy, Daniel, is a paid friend of Meghan. So he's on the payroll. He does her makeup. And he went to Paris with Meghan when she cruelly mocked the memory of Diana by putting her feet up in the back of a limousine as this car zoomed around Paris on streets not far away from where poor Diana perished. And Meghan thinks it's appropriate to put a video like that on Instagram. This is the same Meghan Markle, by the way, who, don't forget, stayed in a hotel 4 minutes from where Diana passed. Can you imagine? I mean, tone deaf, heartless, ignorant, stupid, rude, obnoxious, wrong. Where do you start with that? What a hot mess. But isn't that fascinating that Meghan has decided that this is the allegation of this story, that she's called them and said, can you please remove every photograph because it's very crushingly embarrassing that I didn't wear a poppy. And it is true that Meghan's people, her aggressive public relations team, have been on the case for days now trying to repair the damage of her not wearing the poppy. And I think one reason why is because Meghan fears cancellation from Invictus. She is the wife of the face of Invictus, Harry. And the pair of them could be dumped for this terrible, terrible insult of not wearing a poppy. And by the way, she said she was in America, she couldn't get a poppy. America, you can get anything in it. You're going to be in America, right? You can have an elephant within 7 hours in the United States. You can have anything you like. You can have a baconator. You can have illegal narcotics. You can have a fountain pen. You can have a fishing rod. America is a place where you want it, you got it. Especially if you're on Amazon Prime. So let's not, please don't peddle that lie that because she was, I mean, it's an insult to our intelligence, isn't it? But clearly Meghan's rattled by this. She regrets it. It was a big mistake, but it was a great moment really because the mask slipped and we got to know who this person is. She revealed herself. But of course that is the real Meghan that we've all known about because we are not in the spell.
Unlike Harry, who's completely under the spell of Meghan. Well done, my love.
He doesn't realise that he will meet the same fate as Piers Morgan, Trevor Eggleston, her ex-husband, and Thomas Markle, her father, who lives in a high-rise, okay, in a high-rise apartment in the Philippines, overlooking, I kid you not, a 7-lane highway.
Oh my goodness, I can't get any sleep at all. It's so loud. The glazing, it's single glazed, so I hear everything. And there's no aircon in here, so I'm just sweating my knackers off every night. And the only time I see Meghan is when I watch reruns of Suits, which she wasn't very good in, but at least I get to see her pretty face. Oh,
I mean, poor old Thomas Markle. I'm sure, I mean, he's in the Philippines, right? Lovely country. We've got lots of viewers in the Philippines, but a third of the folk in the Philippines live below the poverty line. He probably gets harassed in the street. Hey, Mr. America, you got dollars? You got dollars? So, you know, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild what's happened. But so Meghan tries to control her image. This is why she gets through PR people, right? Public relations managers, just gets through them. She gets through them quicker than James Corden gets through Krispy Kreme donuts. The whole thing is a hot mess. So you've got Harry and Meghan's reputation absolutely in the toilet as a result of Poppygate and the Kardashians' hot mess. And now, here I am in front of the Royal Courts of Justice with the news that Harry is in a royal legal mess. So, folks, it's been so great to chat. Cannot wait to see you for tomorrow, sitting on some more big stories. Please hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, because then you're in the family. You've got a seat at the table. You've got voting rights. If you subscribe, hit the notification bell and please like. And then also what it means is that when I do a video, it offers it to you and it pops up and goes, Mark Dolan should wish to address you on an important matter of national significance. So folks, it's been great to chat. Cannot wait to see you tomorrow. Stay awesome. Bye for now. Poor old Elton. You know, can you imagine his temper when he realizes that he might also lose 10 or 15 million dollars? He'll be raging. He won't be standing anymore. It will be, I guess that's why they call it the blues and big time. And I guess that's why they call it the blues. Time on my hands could be time spent with you, laughing like children, living like lovers, rolling like thunder under the covers. And I guess that's why they call it the blues.